Welcome to Afra's Artifacts, where we do some archaeology of our own and dig into the queer side of Star Wars. I'm your host, Alia Morgaine, and it's so great to have you here. Well, today we're talking about another short story from a certain point of view, Empire Strikes Back collection of 40 short stories. This one is entitled Amara Kel's Rules for TIE Pilot Survival, Probably. And it is written by Django Wexler. So this story is narrated by Amara Kel, and she has a crush on a fellow pilot in her squad who goes by Howlrunner, Howl for short. So to give a little bit of context, Amara calls each batch of brand new pilots cloudflies. And cloudflies are a species that only live for a day. So from that, you can probably guess that brand new pilots don't usually last that long. So she calls them cloudflies until they prove themselves otherwise. And she flashes back several times in this story to a couple of different encounters with Howl, with her squad mate. And when she meets her for the first time, she says, Howl wasn't a cloudfly. She'd been flying nearly as long as I had, already on her third tour. I was interested enough to look up when she reported to the squad in the middle of mess, and I had to admit, I liked what I saw. Hair dark as space, just a little longer than regulation, lips the color of a fresh bruise, quirked with a hint of sarcastic smile. Love this description. And then she continues and talks a little bit more about her personality and says, under her polished exterior, Hal was something of a goofball. The combination did warm, squishy things to my insides, and I had to breathe and remind myself to remember rule number 1. Now, the title of this short story is Amara Kel's Rules for TIE Pilot Survival. She has 5 of them. And number 1 is don't get attached, not to your fighter, officers, or squad mates. And problem is, she gets a little attached to her squad mate, Howl. So there's another flashback. Their squad has just returned from surviving a mission to an old Clone Wars outpost. And during the mission, Howl saved Amara. And they're in the shower. So Amara narrates, I was in the shower with Howl, kissing her as frantically as I've ever kissed anyone, and finding to my shocked delight that she was kissing me back just as thoroughly. Love it! And then we jump to the present, where their squad is one of the squads. It's out there going through the asteroids, trying to find the Millennium Falcon. And they come across the Exogorth and things go crazy bad. And so several of the squad mates veer off out of formation. And Howl decides she wants to go save her fellow pilots. Well, Amara's reaction to this, she starts freaking out a little bit. Going in and out, remembering her rules, thinking about her attraction to Howl, going back and forth. She says, rule number 1, cloudflies are cloudflies. Chat with them, sleep with them, but don't get attached. Kissing Howl in the shower, skin slick and water scalding. Rule number 2, don't be a hero. Never be a hero. Heroes end up dead. That smile, like she's got one up on the universe and she knows it. The rules. So Amara is really having a hard time here. Her attraction to Howl is a lot greater than she realized it was. And before the story ends, she even calls Howl her girlfriend. In the narration, not to Howl. So she has 5 rules, like I said. Well, towards the end of the story, she's coming up with a rule number 6. And she comes up with several iterations of it. And she says, rule number 6, don't go chasing after your girlfriend, no matter how much you like her. Rule number 6, if you are going to get attached to somebody, make sure it's to a girl who flies like an ash angel hopped up on death sticks. So you can tell from that yes, Howl does save the day. She saves Amara. She saves some of the other pilots. It all turns out pretty rosy in the end. And we see this beginning of a new relationship. It's not a fully comprehensive relationship, but we see the beginnings of attraction, the beginnings of feelings, and I love it. I think this is a really fun story. It's a very satirical story, as can be figured out by the title. It's a lot of fun to read. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. I highly recommend this collection of short stories, From a Certain Point of View, Empire Strikes Back. It is quite wonderful. So remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter at AliaMorgain, and peruse my blog at thestarwarsreview.blogspot.com. May the Force be with you.